Welcome to our Dummy Podcast, Global Operations on the Go. Tune in to this special edition featuring a panel discussion on green metals and sustainability.
Good day, everyone. My name is Prashanth Mysore. I'll have two of my experts on green metals and sustainable metals industry, and I'll let them introduce themselves. Bertrand, beautiful Bertrand, do you want to talk about yourself, please?
Yes, hello. Thank you very much. So I am the expert for metals and minerals for Dassault Systems in the industry, infrastructure, energy, and materials. Here in Dassault Systems for 2 years now, and before this, I had a career in the metal industry, and especially for ArcelorMittal.
Thank you, Bertrand. And let's go towards Dorin, yourself.
Hello. I come from the industry process experts team. I joined Dassault almost 1 year ago. I am focused my expertise on the metal industry, and as Bertrand, I come with 20 plus years of experience in various positions in ArcelorMittal Business Division East.
Thank you so much, Dorin. Rounding up the panel, myself, Prashanth Mysore, 24 years with Dalmia brand. I'm loving it. And I belong to the global strategic team and marketing from Dalmia to support you on our journey towards sustainable metals in the industry, sustainable and green metals industry. So on that note, let's introduce the topic. That's a topic of greater interest, a topic of our infrastructure, energy and materials industry, which is steel. Let's introduce steel and metals topic. Why are we focused on this lovely industry, which is being branded as evergreen? No infrastructure project can go without the metals and the steel. And to talk more about it, the most knowledgeable person on this topic, Bertrand, do you have a view on this, please?
Yes, of course. Thank you, Prashant. So we are now facing a huge transformation in the metal industry, and especially for steel, with the decarbonization of the production. And this is a huge challenge because it requires to create new plants. 1 billion euros projects every time, new processes, new ways of working. And so we at Dassault Systems, we support this kind of transformation. We have the tools to help this transformation happen. And this is why we are now focused on this industry regarding our experience in many other industries, but regarding also our footprint in this industry with a very mature solution on the organization of the operations and with virtual twin for the steelmaking.
Awesome. It's all in $1 billion, isn't it, Bertrand? It's awesome to really, and it's a great opportunity for us to really be on a transformation journey on multi-billion-dollar industry with a lot of references, which we already have, a lot of good customers who are vouching for our solutioning here. So on that note, Dorin, yourself, could you please share your thoughts on metals industry challenges and how are we trying to address it?
Okay, so I will focus a little bit the debate around Europe because to tackle the debate worldwide, it's geospecific. The main challenges nowadays on Europe side is at level of supply and demand balancing, despite if you're already tackled the green path or you're a little bit early into this adoption of the new technology. Basically, let's not forget that after the pandemic period in eastern part of Europe, we have a war that unbalanced the supply not only at level of affordable coal and iron ore, but also at level of energy. This being said, without having the proper sourcing, a lot of businesses had to adapt fast. And how do we adapt fast? Of course, by having clear visibility, which we know by now that Dassault Systems offer to integrate the supply chain as best as possible and extend the level of supply chain more and more for us to be able to adapt fast to this type of crisis. More than this, let's not forget that the demand volatility increased. Why? Because as probably you know, and as Bertrand already mentioned, the race towards the green industry introduced some new legislation like the carbon border adjustment mechanism that entered this year into the sustainability path. And of course, all of this put together put some pressure points not only on the external part of the integrated supply chain, but also inside the actual processes. These are currently the major challenges that Europe is facing.
That's about sustainability and how we reduce our carbon footprint from this carbon-intensive industry. It's always great to hear from the experts like yourself, Dorin and Bertrand, talking about how we, a beautiful brand, Delmia's vision regarding the industry and having considered the market sizing and potential. Let me take that up. As you rightly said, global mandates call for decarbonization and the adoption of circular economy. The talk of the town is circular economy and circular principles. And we all know that based on some of your experiences as well, traditional methods of production and manufacturing is giving way to very innovative solutions. That's the virtual twin, Bertrand, you spoke about. And the move towards sustainable operations sometimes seems like a difficult task, but with Delmia and Dassault Systems platform capabilities, metals companies, including the upstream process like mining, can confidently transform their operations for more sustainable value growth and competitiveness and resiliency here. In Delmia, which is a configurable solution which enables our customer on 5 distinctive business processes like optimizing plant operations, optimizing production process in metals industry, collaboration for innovation, for single source of information, and obviously execution management is all about you plan, you validate everything, but how do you execute it using Industry 4.0 principles and IoTs and all. And we also have a sustainability journey for life cycle assessment. It's a beautiful different steps which Delmia offers in facilitating all the metals companies corporate strategy towards automated operations. This helps companies to improve enterprise-wise visibility, maximize utilization, and centralizes data for decision automation or data-driven operations excellence here. So that's about Delmia and Dassault Systems value towards this metal industry, right? So having said that, Dorin, I come back to you. Can you share the business model context for steel and metal opportunities nowadays?
Well, if I am to compare the current models that are fast adopted versus the old models, I will say only 2 things. In the past, all the businesses were focused on optimizing their main delivery KPIs and their customer satisfaction KPIs. Nowadays, due to all the challenges put together and the pressure points given by the market, everyone is considering to adopting more a push-pull model. Meaning, the push model will be given by the demand challenges, as I already mentioned, together the part of the customer approach, where, again, the demand volatility, I have emphasized it in the past. And the pull model will be based on energy and supply, where basically they have to put together inside the business this constant balance between these 2 separate models. As you already mentioned, we have the technology to do it. We have the optimizing part where we can treat inside our S&OP systems and in master planning this part. But we also have to track and follow that all of these steps are executed. And all of these steps, of course, have a round back inside these new business models that are adapted quite fast. More on this, a lot of businesses, if in the past they worked on the make-to-stock and make-to-order type of models, nowadays, due to all the challenges around the industry, they adopt more and more the path to 100% going to make-to-order. So this being said, and as you already emphasized, we are able to sustain this type of challenges, starting with the design, going through optimizing, and circling back to manufacturing, follow-up, tracking, and quick feedbacks.
Oh, it's all about balancing, isn't it? Like made-to-order is one thing which just in time or somehow in time principles based on lean principles as well. And we bring in Kaizen and Kanban as a overall part and parcel of the whole process. Dorin, thank you for that answer. If we talk about, you spoke about planning and optimization. And if I ask you this question about which part of Delmia domain is considered as a flagship for the steel and metal industry, now let me take that question. There's no brainer here. This is all about planning and optimization, which is from Quintic, Delmia Quintic, which is kind of a de facto solution on aluminum and steel in addressing most of their business processes around master production scheduling and detailed scheduling and manpower planning and sales and operations planning as well, which is proven solution, which most of our customers are using it, happily using it, happy customers. Like our partners enjoy deploying our solution at multiple customer places, right?
This is why the Quintic integrated solutions are the flagship for our flagship for the metal industry, due to the fact that you can treat from a high level the balance between the supply and the demand with the clear visibility on a planning horizon given. You can focus on one site or multiple sites being integrated at level of master planning. You can drill down to go and see your detailed planning for each capacity or for each site individually, but you can follow it through. And this is the beautiful part, because by coordinating with detailed scheduling for each operation or for a series of operation given for a particular unit, you have a grip, you have the bridge between high-level planning and plant site coordination.
Multi-level planning, right? Yeah, that's the main thing actually. So that's a beautiful point, which lets into what is our best practice? What are the industry process experiences which Delmia actually offers? Bertrand, if I bring in over here, I do know that three of the main industry process experiences which you are involved in defining for the green steel production as well as for value path. Could you please share a bit of an overview on industry process experience which Delmia offers here?
We absolutely, and actually there are a wide range of solutions that Delmia proposed to the steel industry, but it's beginning with the planning and scheduling of the production with several specific IPs depending on the level of operations, and it starts with sales and operations planning, SNOP, of course, for the high-level view of the production. But then when you dive deeper in details, you will go to the scheduling with a master production scheduling when it is at a shorter term for the production. And then when you go really directly to the shop floor level, you have what you call the detailed scheduling. And then, of course, you can have many different kinds of adaptations of these IPs to some parts of the process, like the example of the hot charging between continuous casting and hot rolling. And then when you have a nice plan, a nice schedule, you need to execute it. And this is then the next IP, which is called production execution. And sometimes in the field of the steel, we will call it MES or MOM for manufacturing operations management. And so Delmia is able to tackle all these steps of planning the production and execute it. But also, of course, Delmia can tackle solutions like Dorin said for design and engineering with the plant layout definition, with digital manufacturing and so on.
Beautiful articulation. Bertrand, that feels that you belong to Delmia brand, not to industry. And well articulated by an industry person like you. I know it speaks a volume of Delmia value here for steel and the metals industry and steel and aluminum in particular. Detailed scheduling, master production scheduling, and some of the specific IPs like production execution are really, really talk of the town in this industry with most of our customers. Right? So Bertrand, you lead sustainable steel manufacturing, sustainable and green steel. And how does it look? Is it looking promising? Is it really helping us to really decarbonize our lovely planet? Do you want to say something on this?
Oh, yes, sure. It's one of the main topics worldwide now, because actually steel making nowadays, depending on the sources, people say that it represents between 8 and 10% of the global CO2 emissions. And we are just talking about the CO2 emissions. There are other impacts of the steel industry. And so we are now on a roadmap to completely reduce almost remove these CO2 emissions, with the first step over the current decade until 2030. Most of the steel makers, they want to make a first try of the new technologies to decarbonize and especially the direct reduction of the iron ore. And then there is a second step to the decarbonization that goes until 2050, where all the facilities, all the conventional facilities will be completely stopped and changed into a new decarbonized process. And it tackles many, many challenges. So the main one being this step of the iron ore reduction that I already mentioned. The blast furnaces, they are generating most of these 8 to 10% of CO2 emissions worldwide. And by changing the process and using green hydrogen and clean energy at this step, we will be able to completely remove this source. But then there is also all the downstream supply chain after this step, the steelmaking, the casting, the rolling, and so on, where we will have also improvements to do, and especially new ways of working, like, for instance, combining the continuous casting and the hot rolling mill into what we call the direct charging. And this will be also a challenge. And we are here actually to help at all these steps on the thinking, the innovation, the design and engineering of these facilities, the simulation, but also the follow-up of the construction of these new facilities or the changes, and of course, the future operations and productions in this field.
If I am to complete Bertrand, there are various technologies to adopt this path. Neither of these technologies are at full maturity level. This being said, indeed, there are two targets, 2030 and 2050. These targets will be achieved by getting all of this technology mentioned by Bertrand to a sustainable level of maturity. More than this, based on these new technologies, we have to place also a sustainable circularity into recycling, because all of this technology will need a high quality scrap and sourcing. But also we will have to have sustainable hydrogen supplies and also renewable power sourcing to be as sustainable as possible to fulfill and supply all of these new technologies. So the challenge is a little bit more beyond the integrated supply chain description of the current actual technologies adopted.
That's a great supplement, Dorin, yourself talking about sustainability and circular economy, and the energy source, which is predominantly on hydrogen, indeed definitely contributes to reduction in carbon footprint management. So Bertrand and Dorin, do you think that we in Dassault will have a greater role to play in till 2030, and we have our jobs till 2050? Long way to go, mate. Thanks for keeping our jobs safe till 2050, where we are contributing to sustainability and circular economy as well. And Dorin, yourself, what should be the main points considered while articulating message to our customers and steel manufacturers?
Main points, I already touched the maturity part. So even if we follow customer that is engaged already on the challenge towards greens, but even if we tackle a customer that is on the brown side of the industry, as we call it, the maturity level, it is always the key element for sustaining a potential customer that we have in front of us. Because either it is technological challenge and supply challenge, either it is business process maturity that we're speaking about. The metal industry, it is not a great model for Industry 4.0. So somehow they have internal and external challenges at the same time, meaning that we can tackle all the aspects of the business. Process maturity, industry maturity by design and engineering. With the optimization part of our solution, we can always help them to add additional value to their supply chain processes and also increase the customer perspectives KPI, orientated KPIs. And from the execution part, we can always reduce the stock levels and the lead times from tap-to-tap operations. So this being said, if you or we are able to identify the proper need of the person in front of us, we have with what?
We have the what of, you beautifully articulated and touched on Industry 4.0. What is that Industry 4.0? How do we contribute and make this happen? One of the crux of Industry 4.0 is digital twin. Are we talking about digital twin? No, we are talking about virtual twin, which is beyond digital twin for steel and metals manufacturers to visualize and optimize new products, new product introduction, new facilities, and new methods of production process, including hydrogen as their energy input here. And virtual twins are an executable virtual representation of supply chain and manufacturing, and enables most of our customers to design, plan, and optimize virtually before implementing in the real world, right? And which leads to reduce in waste reduction and increase in efficiency, and obviously validate what-if scenarios on circular manufacturing and circular economy here. In virtual twin, in FX helps you visualize and model our own or your own metals factory of the future. And it's powered by 3D Experience platform. And this covers both supply chain as well as manufacturing, and captures all the complexities, including contextualization of IT and OT data, and which helps in metals production network, and also validate the plan in integration with real life data. And it also provides opportunities to improve process for better service and improved delivery experience. That's about virtual twin, which a lot of our colleagues and customers normally ask about. How do we actually implement virtual twin here? That's about the virtual twin. And with that in mind, to talk more about virtual twin experience, none other than Bertrand Orsal, my colleague, who's an industry expert, who has spent a lot of time in green steel manufacturing throughout his career. Let's hear from Bertrand. Bertrand, over to you.
Some companies, steel industry, may be willing to take one solution for one part, one solution for the others. But with the fact that we cover many points at the same time, they can rely on us to have a combination of solutions that will work together in more easier way. And this is the main trend that we see actually in the requests from our customers, to have adaptable solutions that can cover at the same time the planning and scheduling and the execution for today and tomorrow, which is the way showed in the value path that we issued recently in the industry for the green steel transformation. Tomorrow, to use all this data, all this production data in the virtual twin of the plants and of the supply chain and of the product, in order to go find new improvements, to simulate, to define the next investments, and all these functionalities that the virtual twin brings to the customer.
Beautiful, well articulated, Bertrand. Thanks to yourself and Dorin for making these two customers happen. They're fascinating customers, and they really talk very high about Dalmia solutions for this particular industry. Talking about, to all of our audience, there are beautiful link on metals plant of the future to whatever you want to validate, whatever you heard today. Metal plants of the future talks about our virtual twin experience, all of our solutions around planning and optimization, manufacturing operations management, lean collaboration, and also the digital twinning, which is all about virtual twinning with respect to creating a new plant and planning and simulating of the whole new plant, including robotics and automation, all of them. You can visit our website, which is an experiential walkthrough. It has a beautiful 3D animation walkthrough to understand the whole steel manufacturing process. This is Metals Plant of the Future, and which our team has actually developed. Coming to the conclusion, Bertrand, what are the key takeaways which you want our listeners to take back in mind?
Well, the fact that we at Dassault Systems, we are, let's say, the virtual twin experience company now. And this is the summary of what we can bring to the steel industry, actually. And the fact that this is a unique offer on the market, because in the competition, you will find solutions for planning and scheduling there, execution there, virtual twin there for design and so on. But with this virtual twin experience that we provide, we can gather all this in a single environment. And this is the beauty of it. And also the beauty to go with this transition to the green steel. This is my main takeaway, actually, and the thing that makes me wake up every morning.
That's the passionate statement, Bertrand, the beauty of virtual twin experience and the new way of actually helping our customers on their sustainability journey. Doreen, any key takeaway for our listeners?
Yeah, talking about what makes me get up in the morning, it's simple. It is a long race. The challenge is on. The green path towards metal industry sustainability will imply a lot of challenges on this race. It is a long ride, and personally, and I think that we all should be proud that we are part in this race with all the challenges implied.
Proud to be part of in this race is a great comment, Doreen. Thank you so much for that. Thank you, Bertrand, for this lovely insight. Thank you so much. Thank you, listeners. Enjoy your day and think of the beautiful Delmia solution, which is as sturdy as steel.
Thanks for tuning in. You've been listening to Delmia's podcast, Global Operations on the Go.